Hello, Goblin fans, and welcome to the Coach's Show with Coach Tommy Tice. We're here to talk about last week's disappointing loss to Van Buren, who was a very, very good team. They have moved up in the state rankings, obviously, as they defeated the Harrison Goblins this past Friday night, 35-0. It was I hate to use the word dominant, but they controlled every aspect of the game except for one area, which was in a turnover game, and the Goblins were able to manage more turnovers than we give away. And that was a good thing. I think that's a positive way to do that. We did a much better job of controlling the football this past week. Unfortunately, we weren't able to put it in the end zone, but that's okay. The non-conference schedule comes to an end, and it's a new season starting this week as we open up conference play in the 5A West against Greenbrier. And Coach, what do you think?
Well, losing doesn't leave a very good taste in your mouth, and of course, the only way to get that taste out of your mouth is go beat somebody, and Greenbrier's next on the list. We're getting into, we played some quality people, played Batesville, played Mountain Home and Sheridan, all 6A opponents. Van Buren is basically a 7A. Mm-hmm. And I'd forgotten, we hadn't played anybody on that level in a while, and I'd forgotten about what the difference is between 5A and 7A and those higher classifications, and it's speed. Mm-hmm. We were as strong as they were, but at every position. Lauren, they were faster than we were, and they could recover quicker.
Right.
If we made a mistake, they made us pay big time. If they made a mistake, we made a first down. And that's just the way it is. When you go up in classification, you run into the speed factor more than anything else, and you have to adjust. Right. And I didn't think we did a really good job of adjusting, but I saw a lot of good things in the game. I didn't see anybody that I thought was loafing in the game. I thought everybody played hard. I thought we had some great hits in the ball game. Defensively, we gave up some big plays, and we've got to quit giving up big plays. And we're talking about plays of over 20 yards or more. We have to stop that. Offensively, shot ourselves in the foot some. Started out with some first and 15, second and 20s, and things like that. Just can't do that and expect to, beat a good opponent.
Right.
And, Van Buren, a really good opponent, really solid. First trip on the road for us. I think we handled that aspect of it pretty well. I just don't think that maybe we were a little overconfident because we had 2 victories over 6A opponents, but we came in there and the Van Buren made a nice adjustment for us, our heads fitting in our helmets, a lot better. But we go on the road this week again, go to Greenbrier, start the conference race against the number 3 team in the state of Arkansas. They got a great football team. The thing you're going to notice about Greenbrier is simply this. They're a large football team, very large. Up front defensively, they're going to average around 260, 270. They got a great running back, Hunter Winston, great quarterback, Neil Burcham. These are great players, as good of players as you're going to find anywhere in the state. And they're going to be a big challenge. But the thing about our team, we can't control what other people do.
Right.
We have to control what we can control, and that's our attitude and our effort on every play. And if we'll do that, we'll be just fine. We've never lost to Greenbrier down there. We lost one time to them, I think, 17 tries. Our kids are confident. They wanted to come back and, work hard and practice. They know to play great in the game. They got to practice well. We did not practice well last week. Coming off a big victory over our rival, I think we may have fell a little flat. And that's my fault. It's my responsibility to have these young men ready to go. And we weren't as ready at Van Buren as we had been the prior 2 weeks.
I thought one thing that Van Buren did extremely well is they ran the option.
And that was good.
Well.
Yes, and that was good for us to see the option. And as the game went along, we got better at it, except the last play that they ran.
Right.
We had 2 people break down. It's assignment football, an option. Who's got the dive? Who's got the quarterback? Who's got the pitch? And you got to carry out your assignment. And your teammates have got to be able to trust that you're going to do that. You say, well, just everybody run to the ball. Well, that's not what option football does to you. Option football makes you play the way they want you to play.
Right.
And if you break down with a quarterback like Tyler Spoon, he's going to make you pay.
And his experience as he was as a quarterback, he was a 3-year starter at Van Buren. He did a great job. But as we saw also too, they had problems holding on to the football. I mean, they put it on the ground. We recovered it. The big guy we'll see Dyson who picked it up and ran a little bit with it, which was a nice thing to see. We did those things extremely well. I just thought that Jenkins, their running back, just every time you saw him on the field, you just figured they were running the option.
Well, that's true. He's going to be the pitchback.
Yeah.
But our football team, I think, in a lot of aspects of the game, we got better. And the big thing that disappointed me in the ball game is we lost the kicking game.
Yes.
Kicking game's always been on our side. We stressed the kicking game a lot. We broke down in the kicking game. We can't break down the kicking game. We've got to go in the game knowing we're going to win the kicking game. We've talked about it. It's not going to change from week to week. It's not going to change the importance that I put on it in practice and try to get across to our people. Special teams mean special people. And those special people have to realize how important it is and go down and make it happen. You can't wish it to happen, Lawrence. When that game starts, you got to make it happen.
Yeah, and that block punt and things of that nature just didn't seem to flow well from the very first time we kicked it throughout the entire night. It just didn't seem
we
to
had a chance to pin them deep a time or two.
Mm-hmm.
Ball's rolling down there inside the 5-yard line. We're trying to down it inside the 1. Well, let's don't be so fine.
Right.
Inside the 5-yard line is just fine
just
with
good.
me. Just get it down there. There were aspects of the kicking game that went okay. We went into a spread punt formation a couple times, and we did that to give Dalton Lovell, the sophomore, an opportunity to punt under pressure because we're going to be doing that more and more. And of course, the what we call the Chuck Norris punt with Tate back there at times was effective. Other times, right before half, really hurt us bad. Mm-hmm. Gave them a short field to go with 1:14, something like that left.
And they scored, and it's created the problem.
With 5 minutes to go, I believe it's right. With 5 minutes to go in the half, I think we're down 7-0. We have played real well.
And for inability to really move the ball with as well a field position that we had and still be in the ball game 7-0 was a good testimony to the Goblin team itself as a whole. Even though the offense wasn't working, the defense was doing its job, taking the ball away, not letting them get in the end zone. The offense was just looking for a chance for a break on their side.
And when they got those 2 quick touchdowns, you go in at halftime, we're shell shocked. I mean, you can say what you want to, but young people are young people, and we tried to make sure that we reacted to it well. I thought we came out the second half and really played well, and then we break down a time or two in the kicking game, and. So, but 7-0 with 5 minutes to go in half. If you told me that was going to happen when I went down there, I would have told you, hey, we're in good shape.
We're in
great shape.
And especially when we got the ball to start the second half and Pryor breaks it off for the big long run, which, gave you some momentum. It was exactly what you're looking for after the big letdown for them to score late in the first half. You're looking for something to just give your team a spark plug. Let us get back in the ball game. Whether you just put 3 points on the board, whatever you do, putting something on the scoreboard could have lifted the team. Unfortunately,
anything like that. We have a pass play early in the game where Hunter Rogers, who's getting better and better. He's just now his first couple games he's ever played. Since he was a 9th grader, and he's getting better, giving us a deep threat. And he's behind the defensive back, and it's a touchdown. The defensive back does a smart thing. I mean, He's got his back turned to the offense and running down through there waving his hands and knocks Hunter out of the way, and there's no flag, but that's part of it. I mean, they're going to miss some calls. But that would have been a big play for the Goblins right there. Right. Then one of their touchdowns we have a pass interception in the end zone and we drop it.
Right.
So, we missed some things, but, as we watch the film with the players, and I'm always anxious to see how they handle wins, how they handle losses. Coming in the dressing room after the game, everybody was sitting there, and you could tell that they were disappointed. There was a tear in a few of them's eyes. They'd put a lot of work into this. It is disappointing. They only get 10 shots unless you make the playoffs.
Right.
You get 10 shots once a week. It's not like playing any other sport. We say, well, we play again on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to happen. So you put a lot in, and there should be some disappointment. And there's some disappointment. Then we come back and watch the film, and we see how close we are. A step here, a step there. So hopefully this serves as a wake-up call. Practice has been better. I can feel a little bit more sense of, maybe I need to be paying a little more attention to what the coaches are telling me, or whatever the case might be, or maybe be a little bit better teammate. That's what you're looking for as a coach. You want to see how they handle it. That's part of this process. We got to teach them how to handle wins and losses. And I'm going to tell you, Tommy Tice is a hard loser. I'm not a poor loser, but I'm a hard loser. And I demand that everybody, from me to you to the bus driver, every player on the team, have complete resolve to win the next game and do what it takes. I don't think a loss ever helps you, Lauren.
No.
I've never seen a loss ever help anybody.
I've heard you say that. No, there is no good loss out there.
No, there's not. And so I'm anxious to see how we handle that. I want to teach them how to handle wins and losses. You handle everything with humility. You be humble or stumble. And I think maybe winning those first 2 games with a young team like we had, I don't think they were listening to the old coach too much about the humility part. But that's okay. Like I say, it's a journey. It's a roller coaster ride at best. We've been at the top of the ride. Now we're at the bottom of the ride.
And the nice thing is it's a clean slate starting to this week because of conference play. I know those non-conference games are nice and it gets you ready for the 5A West, but really what comes out is what we do for the next 7 weeks.
Well, you look at where we're at. We've come through 4 quality opponents and not an injury. We're healthy. Going into conference race. We're not beat up. We're not banged up. Leo's done a nice job conditioning our team, and we're strong. We're physically and mentally tough, I think. We're going into another tough ball game, and we're not going to put too much emphasis on this ball game, but it's an important ball game, as each one of the 7 conference games are, because I'll tell you what. There's nobody going through our league undefeated. I can tell you that right now. It's going to be a knockdown, drag-out from now to November. So, got to stay at an even keel and remember and keep telling yourself the next play is the most important play. This game is the most important game because this is the only game we're going to get to play this week.
Well, Coach, let's take a short break. We come back. Let's look at the highlights of the Van Buren game, and we'll get your input on what happened play-by-play. We'll be right back.